Hey everybody, well, how are we doing today? I'm pissed. I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos talking about what's going on in the online video games. Mostly Stellar Blade and Helldivers 2. And unfortunately, this means that warnings that I have given people and that others have given people online about online games has become true. Companies don't care about the gamers. They are driven by their greed and power. But their greed is weird. Their greed is stupid. And so I wanted to talk about that. First I want to talk about my thumbnail there. Iron Crown Enterprises has a game system called Cyberspace, and it was a near future dystopia where the corporations get too much power, and some corporations have as much power as some governments. Gee, doesn't that sound kind of modern, doesn't it? But it is becoming more of a reality than a fiction. We have companies that are wanting to control or influence what we say and do online, like Sony. What Sony has done is they put an account barrier up for Helldivers 2, where you have to, even though you buy the game for your PC, you have to have a PlayStation account, a Sony PlayStation account, to log into first to play your game. And this just happened. There are people that had bought their games a couple months ago and now they can't play because of this new addition. A change of the terms of service. This is important. So basically, we got people that bought this game, and then a month or two later, Sony said that you have to log into a Sony PlayStation account to play the game off Steam. Okay? They're playing their game on their PC, not a PlayStation 5 or whatever. And Sony's saying that you still have to log into your PlayStation account to play the game. Okay, that's bullshit. Because that is them trying to influence other platforms and to control what we say and do. They literally had said that this would make banning people easier, more effective. Now this is when I look at their business model and I'm going, what the hell's wrong with you idiots? You have somebody that bought your game. They gave you money for the game, okay? Let them play. Maybe they'll buy other games. But if you decided that Joe over there said something bad and so you got to ban him, he's going to stop being a customer. You banned a customer. And if you banned a customer, you're not going to make any more money. So they seem to be wanting more corporate power than money. And it's stupid. They want to be able to ban people more effectively for having said something that could be considered offensive to somebody. And so they are going beyond their purpose. Okay, they are game designers. That's where they should focus on. But they want to have influences outside. Because we have all these woke little pricks who want to say that people shouldn't say this and that in games. I mean, I recently did a video about TTRPGs and people wanting to have consent forms and safety tools. We have people that want to go into our games and apply political correctness onto every aspect of the game. In these consent forms, they don't want us to talk about certain topics because they are sensitive. Well, if you're doing a fantasy role-playing game, as I said in the video, life's brutal. They don't have the refinements like we have today. We know that certain things are wrong, and on the most part, we don't do them. But in a fantasy setting, a historical, medieval, and prehistoric times, life was brutal. There were times where you had to go kill the neighbor to eat. And sometimes, yeah, it's more morally disgusting if we think about today, but sometimes they had to eat the neighbor. Ugh. But that is historically correct, and thus, it could be in a fantasy game. So what does this have to do about RPGs? Everything. We have people out there, my son included, that use like World Anvil to make his game. He has put a lot of time and effort into it. I am amazed with everything he's done with it. On World Anvil and other online sites similar to it, there are terms of service. What happens if that company gets bought out and the new owners decide to change the terms of service? Sony just did that. To think that no company would do that, it's not going to happen to you, is wishful thinking. Because we've seen they're willing to do it. They don't care about you. And so if you are writing a grimdark RPG, there's going to be some brutality in it, right? Well, somebody could say, I'm offended, and they could report your game. And it gets worse than that. And they are going to use AI to scan your text, your chats, and all that. And so you could be talking in a civil manner, with somebody. You're not bashing them. You're not arguing. You're just talking about something about the game and all that. And you could get into slavery. Maybe you're talking the backstory of an important character in your world and she was raped. They could scan that and say, oh, that's violation terms of service, and they can do a lot of things. They could actually ban you from your information that you've been building. They could just delete it because it's a violation. You should not be talking about this subject. And it already happens. It happened to me. A few years ago on YouTube, I have other accounts, I did a video in response to a news story. There was a little boy who self-deleted himself because he was depressed. And that bothered me a great deal because I don't want children to go through this. So I made a video on steps on how to help prevent children from self-deleting themselves. And YouTube scanned it and said I violated the terms of service, and I tried to appeal it, saying it's about preventing it. I'm not promoting it. I'm trying to prevent it. I'm trying to help parents recognize situations. I lost my appeal because they just was using their AI to scan the video. I never got a human review. These corporations aren't going to pay somebody to go through your account, they're going to have a computer go through it. And you could be saying just the right amount of buzzwords in the wrong order, then all of a sudden you're in violation of terms of service. You could be banned, fined, they could delete your stuff. They could do a lot of different things, and you will have no way to recover it because they decided it was wrong. And so, like with my son, he has nothing down on paper except for like a couple of notebooks they put notes in. That's it. Years of work is in Anvil. And like I said, with the way corporations are going now, thinking that they can go through other platforms and hold you accountable for what you said on this platform over here. My God, there are a lot of people that can lose everything that they worked on because of a change in the terms of service. Okay? And back on the meme. If you can't read it, it's Sprawl Gangs and Megacorps. This was ICE's organization's source book for cyberspace. And so, yes, it does fit Sony and Hasbro so much. In the game, the corporations had their own militaries, their own police, and it's true now. I mean, if you think I don't know what I'm talking about, what about Hasbro and the Pinkertons? Hasbro, through WotC and all that, they sent some Magic the Gathering cards by mistake to somebody who had ordered cards. They sent them the wrong ones, and the ones that this gentleman got in Pennsylvania were not to be released for a couple more weeks. And to retrieve them, Hasbro sent in the Pinkertons, their own personal army. They did not try to talk to the man first saying, hey, this is a mistake, can we have those back? No. They sent in the Pinkertons, who are known to be violent, against an elderly gentleman and his wife. Yeah. Megacorps. Going beyond any sense of morality because they're in for the power. That bothers me. So, we saw how Sony decided that they were going to put these blocks in so that they can monitor what you say and do online. WotC, Hasbro, which everyone listed under, wants to do these virtual tabletops where people can interact. What happens if that happens there? Sony might want to go scan your D&D virtual tabletop and listen in. Take records on what is being typed into the chat. And so if the DM is being the big bad guy, tell him what he's going to do to everybody, the AM might just say that and go, well, he is saying that he is going to do this and this to that person. That's a violation of terms of service. We need to shut this down. It's a fantasy. And I fear that this is going to go to that route where any and all online conversations are somehow being monitored by a lot of different groups, and they're going to hold every little thing you say against you. So this is why old school RPGs are your only safe way. See behind me all those shelves? Pen and paper. Okay, I have basically all the books Iron Crown's put out. I got D&D, GURPS, riffs, and a bunch of other odds and ends that I've bought over the years behind me. And I can use them whenever I want. I don't have to pay membership for them in any way, shape, or form. Okay? Nobody can touch them. The only thing that I put online are these videos right here that I am talking about, and I'll do some reviews and all that, which I'm due to do. But they could see everything that I do, but they can't touch the paper. Okay? They can't. And so if you have the old man modules and all that, play them. Okay? Because then that's something that you know they're never going to take away. They can't take that away from you. Okay? With all this that's going on in online gaming and all that, you know, there was a nice article saying how that the younger generations are starting to go to the old consoles. I still got my Xbox 360. I actually hooked that up last week, and I decided to start playing again because, yes, you know, I can play Call of Duty anytime I want to. Can I play it online? Yes, I can. Do I want to? No. I'll play against the computer and relax that way. And my son, he can get on the other controller and we can fight each other off in a split screen. And I don't have to worry about anybody saying that I can't say this or I can't say that. I don't have to worry about some dumbass, 500 miles away going, that content is not allowed and I'm banned. Nope, can't do it. I don't have to worry about my game getting a patch or it being altered in some way. Because with Stellar Blade, what's going on there is the company that made them, I forget which one it is, said that they were going to do an uncensored game. Showing a little bit more TNA in their games because that's what they've been promising people. And people were thinking, oh, awesome and all that. And then they released Stellar Blade, and I believe it was within a day or two of release, they launched a patch online. This is, again, why I hate online games. So that when you went online to like stream to play the game, there's the patch, and all of a sudden, all the TNA that you were promised got altered. Got covered up a little bit more. And for some people, who cares? But for others, that's part of the allure of the game. You know, and, you know, that's for both men and women. They want to see the sexy side of life. And if you throw a patch into a game and nobody had a say in it, okay, you bought the game, and the corporations decided for themselves that, no, we're going to do it this way instead. So what you got, what you're promised to get, and what you got are two different things. Because corporations like Sony and all that decided that their personal politics is more important than the customer, you. They cannot send a patch to any of my books. I'm good. I could play Rollmaster, Space Master, Cyberspace, Shadow World every day for the rest of my life. And I don't have to worry about some idiot from the Pinkertons coming over and telling me that I got to turn in my book because they don't like it that I have a book that's over 40 years old. Yeah, actually, no. Yeah, I got books that are about 40 years old. Hillman of the Trollshaws. But it is time. This is the warning, okay? Sony has shown what the mega corporations are willing to do. They don't give a damn about you. So if you want to be able to have the more mature games, go for it. You are going to have to do old school. because, science fiction fantasy was this. Sprawl Gangs and Megacorps, the organizational source book for cyberspace. All right, man, look at some of the way the gang over on the elevator look. Some of that looks like modern fashion, unfortunately. And then it's now this, Sony and Hasbro, because they're trying to go beyond their limits and trying to control our lives. And I guess what's upsetting me the most is I have not seen any government entity trying to tell Sony knock the crap off. The Attorney General for Iowa, dumb crap bird, she hasn't done anything. She won't be. She is playing the party line political games and not actually taking care of the people. I think that the U.S. Attorney General should do something about this because they are violating their own terms of service. In one of my videos I watched this morning, gosh, I forgot who said it, but this is what really upset me because I agreed with him so much. We have to follow the terms of service. And the terms of service for Steam, if I remember right, they said what you can and can't do. If you play more than, I think it was 2 hours of the game, you can't get a refund. Once you've bought it, it's yours. That's just the way it is. But corporations, they don't have to follow the terms of service. Even after we bought the game and it's supposed to be ours to play at our discretion, they think that it's all right to change the terms of service and limit us. The other big thing on this, I forgot to mention this, was, Sony wants people to link their PlayStation account. There are a lot of countries in the world that you can't get a PlayStation account. So if you were, I believe one example was saying in Kazakhstan, and you bought Helldivers 2, because you cannot set up the Sony PlayStation account, you will not be able to play the game. You could not log in to the Sony account so that you can log into your Steam account so that you can play the game. So they are screwing a lot of people, a lot of nations out of being able to play the game. And instead of going, man, that's a bad thing for us to do, we should fix it. No, they are doubling down. And they're saying this is the way it is. I mean, for some people, yes, all they have to do is create the Sony PlayStation account, and it might be a simple thing to do. But, and this is something else that irked me, Sony PlayStation has had a lot of breaches of security. I believe it was in 2021, several millions of people had their accounts compromised and credit card information was given out. So I'm very stingent on what I sign up for. That's why I don't have a lot of online accounts, because I don't trust a lot of companies. I mean, I have a hard time trusting Google. And so it is too dangerous to be online anymore. If you're going to put your games online, you better be prepared where you can lose them without warning. Sony gave the Helldiver 2 gamers, I think it was, a week's notice. And that just screwed a lot of people up. And so my suggestion for everybody is it's time to walk away from online games. Go get physical copies. I still have my Xbox 360. I have 40 games for it. So I could play games whenever I want to. I could probably even go on eBay and find some new games. And they can't do anything about that. And so I think that's what a lot of you are going to have to do so you can game safely, because, you know, as I've been saying, all it takes is one event in one game, and it doesn't even have to be a PlayStation game, and it could be traced back to PlayStation, and they're going to ban you from playing all the PlayStation online games. They can do it, try to block you, I guess, on Steam and what other services, but they can basically make it where one wrong sentence and your online availability is extremely limited, because they're talking about permanent bans, not some weekend ban like they do on Twitter. So anyway, that's my rant. Please get your stuff off the internet, off the online options, because I think now it's just too dangerous to have. So everybody, please take care. Be at peace.